Hi, I'm Fraser Douglas, the avid tent camper. In this video, I want to talk some more about my hat collection. Now, I posted a video on full brim hats about a year ago, and it has been a very popular video. And since then, as a result of some questions that were asked and some other thoughts that I've had, I decided to post a second video on full brim hats.
Let me begin by reviewing some of the reasons why I like wearing a full brim hat. They keep my head warm in cool weather. They shade my eyes from bright sunlight. They protect my head, face, and neck from cancer-causing UV radiation. They help to cool my head in hot weather. They keep my head, face, and glasses dry in rain, and they also help to keep my glasses from fogging. On several occasions, they have protected my noggin from injury when I accidentally walked into a low log cabin door header or some other low-hanging object, and finally, they feel great when they fit well. Now let me tell you the features that I like best. In general, I like a wide brim fedora style hat or Australian Outback hat, Panama hat, or safari hat rather than Western style hats or trilby hats. More specifically, I prefer a hat with a relatively wide brim and a snap-down front. I want a brim that is at least 3 inches wide, but I prefer 3.5 to 4 inches wide. I also prefer hats with a relatively high crown, 4 to 5 inches high, with a pinched front and a small center dent. And finally, I prefer hats with a relatively wide 1 to 1.5 inch ribbon style hat band. My hat size is 7 3/8, but the hats that I would typically buy for camping usually only come in 4 sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large. In my previous video, I suggested that if you couldn't find a hat that fit well, you should buy a hat that was a little large and then use foam sizing strips under the hat band to make it fit your head. But now I've changed my opinion on this issue. If the hat doesn't fit well when you first try it on, it will never fit well with sizing strips. And so my advice now is just leave it at the store and look for another hat. And now let me show you some of my favorite hats. I'll begin with my best hats that I only wear to church or other special occasions,
and probably would not take them camping. This one that I'm wearing right now is a hat made from palm leaves that I bought from a street vendor in Acapulco, Mexico for about $25. It's one of my favorite hats. I frequently wear it when volunteering at our local Living History Museum. This hat right here is an Akubra Lightning Ridge, which I bought from a hat shop in Nashville, Tennessee for a little less than $200. It is 59 centimeters in diameter and feels great on my head. This is a Stetson Gun Club 5X fur hat, probably made from beaver fur. A hat made from rabbit fur would be a lot softer but would cost more than $200, and a hat made from bison fur would be a lot rougher and cost less than $200. This is another Stetson 5X fur hat that I bought from a hat shop in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I usually wear it with my brown clothes.
It also costs just a little more than $200.
And finally, this is a Panama straw hat that was actually hand woven in Ecuador.
This hat is no longer available, but similar hats cost between $70 and $125 on the internet. This Bailey's of Hollywood light straw hat also fits great and is very cool to wear in hot summer weather. Now let me show you some of my casual wear hats that I frequently take on camping trips. In cooler weather, I usually wear either a waterproof cotton hat or a wool felt crushable hat. This Dorfman Pacific cotton hat is one of my favorite hats, and you'll frequently see it in several of my camping videos. I bought this Scala Classico in a second-hand shop for about $5, and it also is one of my favorite hats now. I have about 6 other brown wool felt hats, but none of them feel as good as that Scala Classico hat. When wearing black or gray clothing, I especially like this Woolrich wool felt hat, but sometimes I'll wear this Stetson Graybull crushable wool felt hat. The good thing about a crushable wool felt hat is that if some camping gear accidentally gets piled on top of it, either in your car or in your tent, it will usually snap back into its original shape with just a little bit of effort. For hot summer weather, I have several straw and mesh hats, but this Connor Toyo hat is my favorite summer hat. This Dorfman Pacific cotton and mesh hat also feels great and is very cool in hot weather.
Here are a couple more great summer casual hats for camping. The hat that I'm wearing is a Stetson Airway hat that I've owned for many years and I've worn on many camping trips, but it's getting a little sweaty and a little damaged up around my pinched front here, so I don't wear it as much anymore. This is a Henschel mesh hat, and it had a small hat band on it, and so I bought a larger hat band and put it on there, but it may be a little too large. Many people have asked me about Tilley hats, and so let me share a few of my observations. First of all, they're very popular. A lot of people like Tilley hats and frequently recommend them on the internet. I've owned 2. I've found them to be a little hot on my head because they're made from polyester, and I don't particularly care for the styling and the fit of the Tilley hat. But one good thing about the Tilley hat is that you can completely soak it in water and wear it on your head on a hot day, and it is very cool. Let me also say something about Filson hats. Many people like Filson hats, and so I bought this one. It's a tin cloth hat, and I kind of like the crown on this hat, but the brim is a little too narrow for my taste, and it's also primarily made from polyester, which means that it's going to feel warm in direct sunlight, and so I don't wear it. Now, this one is also, even though it's a large, it's a little small on my head. I wish I had gotten an extra large.
A good camping hat should provide protection from the rain.
When light rain is predicted, I like to wear this Dorfman Pacific cotton hat. I've sprayed waterproof spray on it, and so it holds up well to light rain. If heavier rain is predicted, then I've got this Cabela's oilcloth hat, which really sheds the rain very well. But it's a little heavy on my head, and so I only wear it when heavy rain is predicted. Now, I've got a couple of other waterproof hats. This is a Stetson, but the brim is a little too narrow for me. And this is a Woolrich, very similar, but again, the brim is a little too narrow for me. But both of those would make great rain hats for most people.
A good camping hat should also have a chin strap to hold it on your head on windy days.
This Tilley hat comes with a very nice drawstring, one for the back of your head and one under your chin, and it holds it very snugly in place. This Dorfman Pacific hat also comes with a nice drawstring, which can be secured on back when the wind is not blowing. Now this Connor hat that I like so much does not come with a drawstring, but it does come with little eyelets on each side, and so I bought a 54-inch shoestring and a cord lock that I use to make a drawstring for it. And finally, my favorite camping hat, this Dorfman Pacific cotton hat, did not come with a drawstring or eyelets, and so I just took a nail and punched a hole in the spot where the eyelets would go, and then put a shoestring on it with a cord lock, and now I've got what I consider to be the perfect camping hat. It's waterproof, it'll stay on my head in the wind, it feels great to wear, and it provides, it has a wide brim that provides considerable protection from UV radiation and from sunlight to my eyes.
I don't usually wear this rollable boonie hat when I go camping, but I do pack it in my backpack in case I need a spare hat. Before concluding, let me just point out that it's very easy to damage a hat on a camping trip. It can be damaged in your car or in your tent when bags or equipment roll on top of it, and so I need a safe place to store my hat when it's not on my head. The best place I could think of was on my GPS receiver, which is located on the dash of my car. Now I never have to take my hat inside the tent.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this second video on full brim hats, and I hope that it's given you some ideas about whether a full brim hat might be appropriate for your camping needs.
For more information about full brim hats and other camp clothing, please watch my earlier video and visit my website. Links to both of these resources are provided in the discussion below.
Remember, take more trips, travel further, visit more attractions, and save money. Go tent camping.